All right, so let's go ahead and go to 9b. It asks you to graph the equation 2x plus 6y equal 12. So it's actually two ways you can do this. You can either simplify this into slope-intercept form, or you can do it by finding the x and y intercepts. So I'm going to actually solve this out for y and put it in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. That'll cancel out here. I'll bring down 6y equals 12 minus 2x. Then I'll divide both sides by 6. And then my equation is y equals 12 divided by 6 is 2. And then negative 2x divided by 6 is negative 1/3 x. So from here, I have my slope and my y-intercept, which is 1/3 and 2. All right, so I'm going to start at 2. And actually that 1/3 is negative, so I'm going to be going down 1/3 each time. Then to get these here, I'm going to go up 1/3, up 1/3. And that is my graph. Okay, now here's another thing. If you did the intercepts, of course, if you find the x-intercept, that's where your y is going to be 0. So you can just plug in 0 for y and solve that equation. So 0 times 6, that goes away. You got 2x equals 12. Then you have x equals 6 because you divided both sides by 2, which we see that's the same point, negative 6, 0. Then when I get my y-intercept, I'm going to set x to be 0 this time. And I'm going to have 2 times 0 plus 6y equals 12. 2 times 0 will cancel out, and I have 6y equals 12. Divide both sides by 6, and y will be equal to 2. Okay, which if I go here, that is my y-intercept as well. So it's really two ways you can graph that. Also keep in mind you can put in the calculator and check your work. All right, 10b, it says identify the 0. So again, we know 0 is in x-intercept. So x-intercept, that's where it crosses the x-axis. So I'm going to just highlight my x-axis and I'm going to identify where it's crossing. And that is crossing at 5. So my answer is 5 for the 0. All right, 11b. It says using the point 3, negative 1, write an equation in point slope form to represent this graph. So keep in mind, when I'm normally doing point slope form, I can use any point that I want to, but they gave me a specific point, which is right here on a graph. So let's recall point slope form, which again, you have your formula sheet. That's going to be y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, so one thing I like to do is label everything. This is my x1, this is my y1. So that's going to go here, and then y1 is going to go here. The only thing I'm missing so far right now is the slope, which all I got to do is pick 2 points and count my rise over run. So I'm going to go down 2 and over 1. So my slope will be negative 2. So then from here, I'm just going to take this negative 2 and plug it in my point slope form, and my equation will be y minus negative 1 equals negative 2 times x minus 3. So as you see, I plugged in all those components where they fit in the formula. Okay, one thing you also want to keep in mind is here I have the double negatives, so I'm going to keep change flip, and that's going to become positive. All right, so this is my point slope form equation, and I can stop right there because it said it wanted point slope form. All right, my last one, domain and range. So we know that domain is x, which I'm going to be looking from left to right on my graph. And we know that range is Y. So I'm going to be looking from bottom to top. So we want to just look at where this graph starts and where it stops. So we're starting at 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is -4. And this graph stops at 2. Okay. This is a continuous graph. So that means I'm going to be using my inequality notation. So my two boundaries are -2 or -4 to 2. X is going to go in the middle. And I'm going to look at my dots. So my dots are closed here. So I know that my X values are greater than or equal to -4 and less than or equal to 2. So you read that from the middle. So X values greater than or equal to -4 and less than or equal to 2. That just means that they're between those two intervals. So that's my domain. And range, I'm going to go from bottom to top. So I'm starting at -2. And I'm stopping here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So I'm going from, I always want to start with my lowest number. So -2 to 4. I got Y in the middle this time because it's range. So I'm starting at -2 and we had a closed dot. So I'm going to have a less than or equal to sign here. And then I'm going to have my less than or equal to sign here. So this is red that my Y values are greater than or equal to -2 and less than or equal to 4. And that's going to be my range. All right, so please make sure you study, and we just want to say good luck to you guys and on the test tomorrow, and let us know if you have any questions.